a cutting board, that's going to be the easiest way to do it. You can do it with, let's see, someone is in the chat. Oop. Oh, all right. So you can do it with just scissors too. I'll show you both ways. So the way this pattern is written is actually a really smart pattern. There's a lot of things in it to save you time that I know I wouldn't have thought of because I'm not a quilter most of the time. But one of the cool things, there we go. So if you look down at the instructions on, sorry, wait, what's upside down for you? Okay, you look down at these instructions, you'll see that it tells you to cut a strip of fabric. And then we are going to further cut that strip of fabric into the individual pieces. So instead of just cutting a triangle, a triangle, a triangle, you are cutting a strip, and then you're just going with your strip. You can see you'll be easily just doing one line, flip it, one line, flip it, one line, like that. It gives you specific requirements, like you will need 8 A pieces. This is my A piece. So in that color, you'll need 8 of those. The cutting directions are cut up by color. So even if you don't really understand where the colors are going to fall in your quilt, they have sort of naturally randomized it for you. So it will look nice, even if you don't really understand how it's going to look. You will have all the correct pieces if you just follow these 6 color directions for cutting. And if you go down the list, you're going to be cutting strips for every one. You're going to be cutting squares for every one. When I cut squares, I just cut a strip again, and then I cut along the strip, each place making a square. So get started cutting out your strips. If you use a cutting board with measuring, which is the fastest way, but not the required only way, the way I would do it is first, of course, you cut out your strip. This one's already cut. So, measure that off your fabric, just cut off that strip in that measurement, not hard. But then I actually took my pattern piece like that, and I just laid my ruler on top of it and just cut every time. Just cut, 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 move, cut. Now, this is the time for you to ask me specific questions so I can help you. That's the overview of the cutting. So how may I be helpful to people now?
I don't have cutting ability other than a scissors, and it won't be very straight.
Well, do you have a ruler of any kind?
I have a ruler, but then I would have to hand cut.
Yes. So at this time, you're going to have to decide if you want to do this project, hand cutting. Then I'll show you how to do that right now. What are you planning to do?
I think I'm just gonna listen and watch, and then I'll ask questions, and yeah.
Yep. And yours would be about the same. You're still going to cut the strips. What I would do is I would just use a ruler. If you have a yardstick, I would use a ruler very lightly with a ballpoint pen, draw that straight line, and just cut those strips. That's what I would do. And you've got these pattern pieces. You can even just do a quick little trace on the pattern, on the fabric, just stick a little line. And that's going to be your fastest way, I think.
Okay.
Ashley?
Yes.
Hi. I have a question about the dots that are on the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I was reading the directions, they said like the dark ones are critical to transfer to the fabric.
Ah,
I imagine that's so you get the sharp edges,
yes.
or the
That's
points rather.
yes.
So how do
Yep,
you
so-
suggest transferring those dots to the fabric?
There's all sorts of ways you can do it. First, you probably want to use a pen or something to poke a tiny little hole. And
Okay.
then if you have a specific fabric marker or anything that you've used before that you know isn't going to run, use it. Most of the time, I personally use like a ballpoint pen and then I just let it dry.
Okay.
I am pretty good about sewing that into the seam so you don't see it. If you feel nervous about that, use something washable. I haven't had it run yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. What about you, Marianne? Do you need anything?
Well, I didn't know you started last month. So I thought I was behind. So I got all my pieces out and started.
Oh, well, then do you need any help with anything or you're
No,
pretty much
I'm
to go?
good. I'm good.
Oh,
Looking
okay.
back, cutting it is so time consuming. I did it with a ruler and scissors. That's really the hardest part, I think.
It is. I would definitely agree with that. Some people get frustrated with the sewing but in the end it's mostly straight lines. It's only straight lines for this project.
Yeah.
I think it's good for beginners.
Yeah, it is.
Have you quilted before, Marianne?
No, I've sewn before and never quilted, so I figured this was small enough to get started. You don't even need a lot of fabric. It's great.
No, no, no. It takes almost no fabric to quilt. That's why they have such a wonderful tradition of recycling little bits of fabric into
Yeah.
your quilt because you just save all your scraps.
I saw a video online because I looked up how to do quilting where she took like 2-inch squares and she made a Christmas tree. It just like this beautiful hanging. It was like all scrap material. It was great.
Yeah, yeah. There's a million ways to be creative with scrap material, especially in quilting. Basically everything I use is recycled. I've got this ridiculous stack of fabric over here. That's mostly like old bed sheets and stuff.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's the cheapest way to do it. But if you're in Rochester, there's also So Green. Do you guys head over to So Green ever? That's a
What?
really cool place.
Where is that?
That is on Canal in West Main. It's over right in the Susan B. Anthony neighborhood there, across from the 1872 Cafe.
Oh,
It's
okay.
run by Georgia. Oh, what is her last name? Well, anyway, Georgia runs the place. She's a deacon over at the Episcopal Church, and she also was a costumer at the theater for years and years and years. So she knows how to do everything.
What's the name of it again?
So Green, SEW, like sewing green.
Do you happen to have a finished product of what this is going to look like for
I
inspiration?
haven't made a finished one.
Oh,
I have all of my pieces cut out, so I'm doing mine in like this fun vintage gingham, but I don't have one all made up.
oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's
If
all right.
you look on your computer, you can blow up that picture a little bit, or if you just search the pattern, you can go right to the website where they might have more info on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I just thought it might serve as an inspiration as we're working.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe I could get a little ahead of you guys. It's just I'm not really an employee. I only come in for classes like twice a month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the thing that I am working on right now is, let's see if I can find one. Oh, here they are. I am on number 1 of Assemble the Blocks. I'm doing the thing where you kind of bisect your squares with the
okay.
lines,
Okay.
and then you get them pinned up to your other square this size. And I'm going to be doing a little seam on either side of this center line. So that's what I'm working on right now, because this is going to give me 2 squares. One on this side is going to be half and half, and one on this side, it's going to be
Oh.
half and half, and then I just slice right down the middle. I've never done this method before, but I've been told that it's awesome, saves you time, no reason
Wow.
not to do it. So you
Oh.
can see the construction of the person who made this is quite clever at saving some time and planning ahead.
Okay, so you sewed a 1/4 inch seam on either side of that line, or
Mhm.
both of those lines?
Yep.
Okay,
So you'll end up with two equal squares when you cut down the middle.
okay. Ah,
Yep, that's what I'm up to. Yeah, and that's just step one. I'm ahead, but only because I've been cutting with the ladies. I don't think anyone else is all caught up. So, Marianne, it sounds like you might be the furthest ahead and you thought you were behind.
I guess so.
Yeah.
okay.
But
Do you recommend washing the material first? I've heard some people say that, others don't.
you know, I am not a hardcore quilter. I have heard from hardcore quilters that nobody's got time for that. But then I've heard from other people that, like, if you don't do it, your quilt is ruined. And you know, it can be kind of a stressful world because there's all levels of quilters, and the hardcore ones have very strong opinions.
Ah,
But I have all of my fabric has been washed just because when I bring it home from the thrift store or whatever, I wash everything. And it's probably been washed a lot of times, honestly, because if it's bed sheets and stuff, then you know it's something that got used. But for you, for this,
uh-huh.
I don't know how often you're going to be tossing a decorative table runner in a hot water cycle anyway. If this was a clothing item, if this was a bed item that was going to get a lot of wear and tear, maybe I would say to do that if it's going to get washed a lot. But for this, I don't think it's going to shrink up and get weird. I would still wash
Okay.
it cold. I would still probably dry it flat or iron it afterwards. But I don't think for this project it's going to be a
Needs
huge
to be,
deal.
okay. And the other thing I heard about was direction of your stitches. Do you
Ah,
advocate one direction over another? Or there's some
direction of
kind of
stitches.
rule?
Are you talking about the actual construction of the blocks?
Right,
Or
right. Something about, I don't know. I've heard or read stitch in the direction of something, and make sure you're always stitching in the same direction, and you're um, ironing the seam in the same direction, or you don't open it flat. I know that.
mm-hmm. Well, the ironing the seam in the same direction is going to be helpful for us just keeping things tidy in the back.
Uh-huh.
But I always have trouble with hard rules in creative projects just because everyone you talk to has a different opinion. I would say stitch normally. I would say don't pay too much attention to that. I'm not sure that it's going to give us a hugely different result in a project of this size.
Okay.
I would say be systematic. So if you did one thing one way on one square, do it the same way. Um, I've had a couple of bosses tell me it's okay to screw up as long as you screw up consistently. So it will all look the same and nice and uniform, which is something important to a lot of people about quilting because you've got these very geometric designs and they like the uniformity of it.
Okay.
Yep. So just do it the same way all 3 times.
All right. Easy enough.
Yep. And if you fall in love with this and start quilting, you'll probably learn a lot more than me very fast because I'm not a dedicated quilter. But I think that the project we're doing is accessible for everyone.
Okay.
So let's see.
What was the dark spots for?
Okay, so the dark spots on your little pattern pieces in the corners, those are going to show you where you want your seams to meet. So when you're doing your stitching, you want to make sure that you have these straight lines, you're keeping everything even because, you know, putting together a quilt is like putting together a puzzle. So if you can watch these little markings that you've put onto the actual
Okay,
blocks like this.
so that's where you stop.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
you want the stitching just like on here. Stitch to those little
Oh, I see.
corner
Okay.
pieces. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Uh,
Can I be helpful for anyone getting started? Is there something that I can do with you guys that would be useful? I want to make sure our time is used well, even as we're all in different places.
Well, I finally cut my 2 pieces out, so
There you go.
I'm moving
Now you
slowly.
need strips. I found when I was cutting that these strips were plenty long. Like I didn't ever get to the end and just try and squeeze out one more triangle. Like the strips are very long. So if you can't
Okay.
quite get 42 inches or 21 inches off your fabric, it's okay
Okay.
for them to be a little shorter. Just use the fabric you've got. If you've got to cut another strip or another piece of strip, it's no biggie. Because not all the fabric from Gilda's is going to be uniform. You know, it's in our supplies for all sorts of projects.
I'm gonna have to read the making the template because I am a total novice. I do sew, but I haven't in years. So I thought this would be fun. Just like the other girls said, I'll try it, but I'm not.
Yeah.
My eyes don't function well because I've got very bad eyesight because of cataracts. I was supposed to have surgery and then my leukemia came, everything stopped. So I'm not quite sure when you said to color in which fabric to use. Do I have to make a template for? I don't know where to do that on.
I'm talking real casual. I printed
Yes, that's
this out,
simple. Okay,
and I
got
have this. I would use markers on this. I do that sometimes just to give yourself a visual of if you like the way the colors play with each other. Aside from that, let me see if there's.
So if I just wrote the fabric like on like this, just have these the same fabric. I guess. I mean, I really don't. I can see me doing it all different, and I suppose that's okay too.
Yeah. The easiest way, I think, to make sure that your fabrics are kind of like well distributed is what I did is I just wrote what I was using to replace the fabric.
Okay. So did you have 3 or 4 colors?
I ended up having 6 because I had a dark blue and a light blue. I was only going to use 5, but I went ahead and I did 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 7. What's from binding fabric? What does that mean?
So binding is what we're going to use to do the little sides and I don't know, maybe the back too.
What do you cut that from?
I'm going to pick when I'm done with my squares. I haven't even picked that.
I mean, is it just regular material?
Yeah, just regular material.
Oh, so I shouldn't worry about cutting that out.
That's what I told the ladies I was working with last month because I don't know yet what I want. So I'm just focusing on the quilt blocks.
Okay, so then I'll just, where the one above it says from light blue cut 3 4.5 squares. So I'll stop cutting there. Is that correct?
Yes, that's where I would stop.
Okay.
And if you look at the pattern on your computer with the color, it's going to be easier to tell how everything sort of naturally distributes. Like you look for the cream batik and you understand, okay, cream batik will be this. What color do I want this to be? These open places around the star.
Oh, well, I could look at it on my phone. Okay. I think I know what you're saying.
Yes. So look at what that color on the pattern is being used for and decide what you want to replace it with.
Okay, I gotta find it again. Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
No problem.
Where is it?
Let's see. Do you need anything, Pat?
No, I think I need to just dig in and start cutting.
Yeah. And let me know if you need anything while you do that. I'll just kind of be here puttering away,
Oh,
pop in and ask questions whenever you guys want. We'll
Oh.
hang out for a while.
okay. Actually, I might wait until after our session is over just so I can set up. I've got to get things out and go to another room. So but I think you've explained it well enough until I try and implement, and then I'll know what I forgot to ask. But it sounds good.
Oh, good. I hope so. I like I said, I think it's going to be pretty straightforward for you guys and a real good lesson in the construction of these cool geometric blocks. I think after you've done this, most other kind of classic quilt designs will kind of make sense to you. You might even know how to do it without seeing a pattern.
I don't know about that. Do you have any goals for where we should be the next time we have a Zoom meeting, so that we're kind of on the same page?
The first lesson I did was in late November, and that time I told the ladies, try and have everything cut out for next time, and they don't have their stuff cut out yet. So it's going to be personal goals. I will follow you as fast as you want,
Oh,
but
I just don't want to hold everybody
else-
up.
Oh, no. Don't worry about that at all.
If that's the case, I'm dropping out right now.
So
this is supposed to be a helpful thing to people isolated during quarantine. Like, please don't let this be stressful for you.
well, we certainly appreciate it. So, well, then my concern was, and maybe it's not a justifiable concern now, on the schedule, it looks as if there's just one more meeting in 2 weeks. And then are we cut loose?
Continue to be more. I believe the planning.
Don't leave us.
No. I won't be leaving you. The planning is done on a monthly basis. We've been kind of a little bit more playing a little bit more fast and loose as we try and figure out how to connect to people. But I think for now the goal is to keep up with this project basically till we're done. Because I told her this is a long-term project. We're not going to be doing something different every month. We're just going to try and tackle this. We need something stimulating. So I said, let's go. Let's do a big project.
All right. So if we're not ready to do the binding or the backing or whatever at the next meeting, there'll be other opportunities to get help with that.
And just me personally, I really don't mind if someone sends me an email and says, can we please have a session? I would love to get this done for Valentine's Day. Like, people do stuff and I'm very comfortable with that.
Well, thank you. Do we have your email?
You can always just email Karen. She always makes sure everything gets to me. If it's a request like that, I'll probably just reply back to you personally. But yeah, anything can go to Karen, and then we can take it from there.
Okay, well, that's reassuring then.
Yeah.
We're not going to be stranded after.
I know that I personally don't get a lot done in a group setting, so I'm probably more like you guys who just want to like come and see what's going on and then go and do it myself. I can't do anything in front of people, or I can, but it's hard.
I'm exactly like that myself, and then that's when I tend to make mistakes. So that's why I'd rather just listen to you talk and answer questions and then try to implement them. I know Karen said she was going to videotape your session in case we wanted to replay it. And now it's good to know we could also send you a quick email if we get stuck.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most productive way to get forward. Because I think once everyone's sewing, you're going to be all over the place. Everybody sews at a different rate.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess one other thing, do you have any tips on how to join the corners or the points of the star to make them look so beautiful? You know, you see these that look like it's so easy to join corners and point. And then when it goes to implementation, it's like, this isn't as easy as it looks. So I'm wondering if you have any tips or tricks that you've learned, or is it trial and error?
It's mostly frustrating trial and error, but you've already remarked on these little marks. I'd say be, if that's something important to you, be very just be very particular about that.
Okay.
Be very pin absolutely everything, because
Okay.
things wander. Like myself, if I was just doing this much stitching on a garment, I'd think nothing of it. Like that's
Right.
on pants or something, that's nothing. But on little quilt things, I will sometimes tear them out, do them straighter if I need to.
Oh,
Those
that's good too.
little individual seams are what make the points and all of the sharp geometric edges. So it's every little seam counts.
And you pivot on those dots, is that right? You pivot your needle?
Yeah. Although I think a lot of the time you're only going to be doing one side at a time.
Oh,
yeah.
That's even better.
If you look at the actual, oh yeah, it's all straight lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
If you look at the actual construction on this page here, you'll see like when you have a triangle, you're going to be doing this side first and then this side. Like they really break it down, like, okay, put on one side, then that folds out, put on the other side, that folds out, then you have both sides done.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. You're just going to be doing single seams at a time.
Well, I like that. Less stressful.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a beautifully intricate looking block, but and it's nuts and bolts, all straight lines.
I know when I looked at it initially, I thought, oh my gosh, this looks really difficult, especially for 2 sessions.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
No, we are going to, I hope that I could kind of have a session with everyone who wants to complete this, because I feel like if we did one-on-one time, I could get people going independently a lot easier. It's just harder in the group to make sure everybody feels confident in knowing what they're meant to be doing next.
Well, thanks to you, I do. I can't speak for
Good.
anybody else, but I think you've given us some really good tips, and
I hope so.
ready to start cutting.
I'm excited. Everybody, the first group, I don't know how you guys received your fabric, but I know Karen was making up cute little bundles of fabric, and everyone's was so different. I'm just really excited to see how this kind of pretty, almost snowflakey star pattern is going to look in all of these different colorways, because I know mine is kind of springy, a lot of dark florals and stuff in the other groups. I'm excited. I would love for us to be able to like display them in the clubhouse and see everybody's, but I really don't know if we're ever going to get to be social again. So we'll see.
Don't say that. It's when, not if.
It's when, I agree.
Oh, golly. Although we are coming up on our 1-year anniversary, it's not that far off, which I was just remarking with my daughter, whoever thought when this happened, we thought it was just a couple weeks and we'd be good. So,
oh yeah, it's like no exaggeration was big enough. We've just been in it for so long.
But I think on the flip side, we're all learning new skills.
That's
and
true.
This was on my list of things to do, and I thought, well, I'm still here, so we might as well try something else that's new and different.
No, I think that's wonderful. I know that I have like finally learned the tools of 21st century communication. Like I use video chat and stuff a lot more than I ever used to, and I use it for true human connection in a way I didn't think that I could, because once you only have that, I'm very close with my brother and some people from college, and we can have normal conversations. We can watch a movie together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's been really helpful. I'd have gone crazy if I didn't have that.
For sure.
Let's see.
Well, I don't want to monopolize it if anyone else has questions.
Looks like we're just down to, it says 5 participants. Maybe that includes me. Yeah, that includes me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's just us here. Tell you what I've been up to this week. I live down here in Maryland now.
Oh, I thought you were here in Rochester with us.
I was. Yes, I came down here September-ish.
Oh,
Yeah.
is this a permanent change or just temporary?
Yes, I
Oh.
got divorced.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's made this pandemic extra sucky, if I
Oh,
do say
dear.
so myself.
Oh,
But it's also maybe the best time to do something like that, where you actually can stay home from the world and just be like,
sulk for a bit.
yeah, sulk a
Oh.
bit.
Oh,
But
so
I'm
do you?
actually,
I said, did you? Why? Any particular reason why you went to Maryland?
I went to college down here. So
Oh,
I live on the Maryland side of DC, so I'm right here by the city. I
oh,
didn't hear any of the excitement yesterday. It's about 10 miles to Capitol Hill from here.
that's still close.
Yeah, I wondered if we'd hear anything, but thankfully out here in the burbs,
Uh-huh.
not too bad.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you have any idea? Now, I see all of my things I marked pink.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any idea how much fabric I would need? Because I only have this much.
That is for the cream batik. You're replacing the cream with pink?
I don't know. Let me see.
I think so.
Okay, if I did it right, I have it on my my phone. That's like the beige, the cream.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So it looks like, I think you probably have enough, because this is all you're going to need of that. You can see.
I have a hard time telling. Like I say, this is how wide it is. It's about 16 inches. Well, no, more. It's probably
Although,
18.
Is that a cotton? What is that? Because it looks
I don't-
very sheer.
Yeah,
is
it is.
slippery?
No, it's cotton.
Okay,
Oh, I'm sorry.
okay.
It is thin. Because you do them
Okay.
single, right? And then
Yeah,
here,
yes.
these are the ones Karen picked out for me. And this one's a little thicker. I don't know. This one you can't see through at all. I have more of this one.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. I like that with the pink, don't you?
I do like it with the pink.
Yeah.
I
And then there's
personally
this
think
one.
you have enough. I do
Oh.
think you have enough.
This one is this is a thick one too. This has like greenish that she got me. It's trying to get the single fabric. It's hard my hands. So you see, you can't really see through that either.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I have this, like, is this a gingham or what? I
Looks
don't know.
like it, yeah.
I don't know if I want to use this one though. If I can just do the 3, I don't
Well,
know.
you certainly can if you just, you can do, if you do 2 squares that look similar and then one where you just reverse the colors, I think it's going to look great.
With using 3 colors?
Yes.
Oh.
So
What do you mean reverse the colors? So
if you use pink on the outside of these 2, put
Right.
pink on the inside of this.
On the insides? Okay.
Yeah.
Is the inside just a plain square?
The inside, if you look, I believe it is a tiny square. It is one square, but the corners are all done in a different color. So it's almost like the square in the middle is a smaller diamond turned on its side, like that.
Oh,
And then
okay.
there's little flaps on each side. You can see
Oh,
how to
yeah,
make
you're right.
that
Oh,
down here.
I'm not a pattern person. That's what. When
I
you
missed
Deborah,
that.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you want, Deborah, we can just do a plain square in the center. That's no problem.
Okay.
If
I
you
mean-
don't have anything that you want to contrast, it'll add texture, but it's not going to really change it much if you prefer to do a square.
Okay, so I'm gonna write down what you said. That I'll think about doing the opposite because I need more. I need time to think how to do it. My brain just is not working right. So I'll write down, think about doing opposites in the center one.
Yep. And if you'd like just a plain square in the middle of your stars, that's
Okay.
easy to do.
And I don't know which, oh, in middle square. Oh, I can't even spell right. Oh my gosh,
It's
M-A-D-T-F.
gotten to that now.
Oh, it's, yeah, the chemo stuff. I mean, it's actually, it'll be 10 months tomorrow that I was diagnosed. And well, I won't go into it. Think about doing opposite colors in middle section of quilt. I think I'll understand that. I'll read and go, what am I talking about? And then what was the other thing? Oh, I could do the middle square one color.
Yes. Yes. If it comes down to it and nothing really catches your eye for making those little corners, just make it a square.
Okay, so is it okay that I have the different texture fabrics?
A traditional quilter or a real hardcore quilter would probably tell you not to do that. But like I said, traditional quilts are made out of whatever you had. So if you love those colors together, do it. Just, I would iron your seam behind the more dense fabric. If you iron the seam so that your underside is on the sheerer fabric, you'll see it.
You'll see it. Okay, let me write that down on my other page here. Iron. Okay, so iron. Say that again.
So iron your the backs behind the thicker fabric.
Seam back behind thicker.
That'll give you a neater look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. But I don't know if I'd think of it at the time.
Yeah, I hate for that to be something that came after it got seamed.
And if it did, who cares? Yes, I'm stretching myself, doing things that I've never done before, and
Well, I think that's wonderful.
I'm trying. It's very, very difficult.
I wish that you had meetings and things, because I know quite a few people in the program, and I think it would be a much more fun experience for you, a much more supportive experience for you if we were having more real world stuff like last year.
Yeah,
You
probably.
were just initially diagnosed in February or March?
March, yeah. It'll
Wow,
be a year.
so you've had the
I
full
came
pandemic experience.
I came in one hospital, Rochester General, thinking I was having a heart attack because of my symptoms. And within an hour and a half, they're coming in saying, where's your blood, kind of a thing. And just, yeah, it was not I didn't have a good prognosis there. because of the type I have. But then I was able to go to Strong and get on the clinical trial study, and I'm here today. So almost
That's
10 months.
wonderful.
Yeah, 10
Wonderful.
months tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I'm still undergoing. I had a horrible reaction this week from something new, and I'm supposed to have it monthly. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm thinking I can't worry. That's their job to figure out, because there's a protocol on the study that you have to do, and my body just went, oh, it was horrible.
Yeah. Oh,
It was
gosh.
an IV, an hour and a half IV that I was supposed to take this medicine, and it just wasn't good.
Are
So
you able to eat and sleep comfortably when you're on your own, or is most of the discomfort around the treatment times?
yeah, I don't have an appetite, so I make myself eat. And unfortunately, I've gained a ton of weight, and I have spinal disorder, really serious in my neck and my low back, that I was supposed to go for more back surgery. So of course I'm not, because I had neck surgery 4 months before my diagnosis. So I wasn't even
Gosh.
done dealing with that. So I sleep pretty well, but my husband's here. He helps me a lot, and in between his issues. So it's been an interesting marathon, and I've got 16 more months to go, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it, because like starting Monday, I got to go on 5 days of a very high prednisone,
Oh.
and that just last month it kept me up every night. The month before, I forgot what it did, but my body doesn't like drugs.
Yep, some people don't.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
I hope you can stay comfortable throughout all of this. I know my mom was very dependent on her creature comforts, like her bath and just let me see if I've got somebody else. Oh, maybe that's
I think that was my
Marianne's.
drug.
Go
Excuse
grab
me.
it.
Yeah, the cancer drug.
Oh, well, that was a tough story.
Yeah. And I know that when my mom was dealing with all of these sort of things, there was so much support available in the hospital, so many groups trying to make sure she had blankets, she had dropping off meals. Like, there was a huge social element to the support while she was undergoing treatment, and now it seems like an unsafe thing to do, to even go in for treatment with all of this virus flying
I know.
around.
It is very
a
scary.
lot to carry right now.
It is. You don't know if you should see the doctor, risk seeing a doctor, going in, yeah, for sure.
Everything just feels a little frightening.
It does, and we don't get used to it. No, for sure.
Oh, but like we said, just have to keep trying new things and trying to connect with other humans and entertain ourselves and just get through this.
Mm-hmm. Well, I certainly appreciate your willingness to do this work for Gilda's Club.
I think it's so important.
It's I mean, because so many other things have been shut down, and this quilting, to try it was something on my list, and I was using the excuse, well, no one's having classes. This is great.
Yeah.
And then I saw this and I thought, I might as well try it and see what harm I can do.
Well, I haven't seen anybody explode their sewing machine yet, so you should be good.
I should be good. Okay.
Pretty low risk behavior.
All right.
Oh, I just put it on. I didn't know I can do a gallery view.
Oh, yeah.
So is that you, Pat, that's been asking all those amazing questions? Thank you very much.
Well, there are many faces to look at, but
I know. I just had Ashley on, and then I came up on the bottom. I thought, well, maybe that's how she did it, and then I thought, Wait
No,
a
you've
minute.
got power there.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the difference between it being like a class and like more of like a club, and you can chit chat all
Uh-huh.
together, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. So those are my cancer drugs at the door. They're so
Oh,
sweet
Yeah,
to mail
speak
them.
of the devil though, huh?
I know.
Mid conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he doesn't want me to have to go in again. I was just there Tuesday, the pharmacist. He's so sweet. He takes such good care of me, everybody there, but it's, yeah.
That'd be rough.
hmm
Mm.
And more isolated now than it would have been any other time. I
Yep.
hope that this can be a really nice place for you. Have you been to any of my other classes? I don't think. Did you come to field day or anything?
When was that?
Oh, you know what? That would have been January, so probably not. It was either January or February
Of
of
last year, you mean?
2020.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
field day?
It was
I don't know. I somehow missed seeing all these quilting classes that you've offered.
Oh,
I took an on-site class. This was probably a couple years ago, and I can't think of the name of the lovely lady who taught it, but she was a sewing instructor at one of the high schools back when she worked, and she was a wonderful quilter, great teacher, and she just unexpectedly died.
Mm.
And so then I didn't see any more classes for quilting. I think I might have seen sewing, but maybe it's just my mistake. So you've been doing quilting
No,
classes since
we
January?
have been doing quilting. Well, let me explain where I came in. So I came in, I think in November of last year. Yeah, November of
Oh,
last
not
year I
until
came
November.
in, or November of the year before,
Oh,
actually,
2008.
2019.
Okay,
Yeah,
2019.
yeah. So I came in then, and it seemed like it had kind of been just an open sewing time
Yeah.
for a while, and the ladies who run gildas wanted it to be a little more structured, so we worked together to come up with sort of a new curriculum. So we had open sews 2 Fridays a month, so you could sew anything you wanted, and then
Mhm.
we had specific classes that people could sign up for twice a month as well.
Ah,
So we've done some quilting.
okay.
We were doing a quilt block a month before all
Oh.
this pandemic stuff happened. We only got one quilt block started,
Mm.
but we were having a nice little structured class.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And
Well,
I don't know what the future holds. Sometimes I'm a little worried about places like Gilda's. I hope that they can continue to do what they do when everything's. I'm sure that charitable organizations aren't bringing in what they would have brought in a normal
No,
year.
oh,
they're not.
no, for sure. They can't have the fundraisers that they used to. Yeah, it's very difficult.
Yeah. So hopefully they get to continue being helpful, because I can't imagine a more relatable or helpful thing to do. I mean, cancer affects
Right.
every family.
Absolutely.
So they certainly have enough people who believe in their mission.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been really an eye opener for me being new in this. And I just recently started, I mean, I tried doing the Zooms early on, but I just couldn't handle it because I was, I had an IV running 24 hours a day for 28 days in a row, night, day. That was a 3 cycle. I stopped, and I just started picking it up again when Karen had the coffee and chat on Mondays. And I started then, and then I went back to the Tuesday Zoom as well, and meeting so many people. And they've said some really important things that I needed to hear, because I don't really like going on those support groups. So I forced myself, and I'm glad that I did, because there was a couple things the different people said that I really needed to hear, and you don't realize that. And and then I did my first project with the Christmas ornament, the tree on the
Oh,
piece,
yeah.
the block of wood. Yeah. And Karen actually gave me a couple extra. So I got to do 4. And it was,
Oh,
I kept
fun.
hitting my finger, but it really kept me focused. And I gave them to 4 special people, well, 3, because I kept one. The first one was mine.
Good.
I sent her the picture. She wanted a picture of it. And so that was fun, just to think I could do something like that.
Yeah.
And gave them to 3 special people in my life. And now this, and this month, I think we've got jewelry and quilting again, and then painting. And I'm like, that's cool, because normally on Fridays I have a lumbar chemo injection, but they're not doing it in January. Yay! I've got
Wow.
February through May. I'll have to have those every month too, which is another. Oh, they stab you everywhere they can.
Oh,
So this has been really nice, and I just can't believe. I just pray that it's going to be able to stay alive for all these people they've been helping for so many years. And now I'm one of them. And I'm like, I just can't imagine a place that gives so much. And
Yeah.
it's a beautiful place. Karen will show me different rooms, because I've never been there, obviously. So it's a big area where you would go and sit together and work around the table, and the kitchen's big. And
Yeah, and Barb would usually come in and put out some snacks for us. Like, it's just a place that is essentially welcoming, which is exactly what you need when you're going
Yeah.
through this stuff.
And it's a family. I'm realizing that the Wilmot Center is my second family, because I live there, and that's what I'm realizing. Gilda's, it's a family that accepts me and receives me, because they understand. And even family can't understand, as I'm sure, Pat, too, and everyone else that has issues with cancer. It's you can't explain. And if you can find someone in your family that will listen and encourage you, that's a blessing too. And I have a sister that, thank God, she will talk to me and let me vent, even though I hate to, because you don't want to bother her with her, she's got her own issues too. But
I'm sure she's glad that she can do that for you, though.
yeah, she
You need to let people love you sometimes. That's something I have trouble with. I want to do everything myself and not be a burden to anybody, but especially with going through all of this, I've been letting people love me lately. Thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for feeding me sometimes. Like, I accept
That's
your
super
love.
exciting.
good for you.
yeah,
Mm.
absolutely.
I was raised to be kind of tough. I'm getting smushy as I grow up.
That's a
Mushy can be
good.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, most people just get more bitter as they age. I'm becoming more and more vulnerable.
Oh,
Yeah, being a caregiver and a nurse, that's where my biggest struggle was when I got admitted into the hospital for those first 23 days. It's like, you can't do this for me. I mean, I had so many blood transfusions in the first couple of weeks, it wasn't funny. And yet I still tried to fight. Really? I was at a dangerous low level, but there's something inside of me, the caregiver and that warrior person, but I wasn't doing it, allowing it to be done to me. I still wanted to do it. And for 70 years, it's a hard habit to break. So Ashley, I'm proud of you for allowing yourself to let people love on you and care for you.
Oh, thanks.
That's a hard thing. So you're young, and I'm glad you're embracing that, because it'll be better for you in the long run.
I hope so. I've learned a couple of lessons in my short time, and I don't know. I just want the world to be a nice place. And I think if you're not letting people be nice to you, then it's not going to feel like a very nice place. I'm always shocked by the support and kindness that people give me as a person. And it's always a wonderful kind of shock.
Mhm.
And I really appreciate my friends and family.
Mm.
Good. Yeah. We see things quite differently since this COVID, right? I know I have.
It's helped me with my priorities, I think.
Yes. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, I think I probably wouldn't have been as regular in my contact and communication because, you're busy, you're doing stuff, you're dealing with the people right in front of you. There's no people in front of me anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, well, guys, is there anything else I can help with today or anything I can send you off with today?
I think I'm ready to start cutting.
Yeah.
Thank you for your help.
Oh, thank you for showing up and just very right about that, Deborah. Very good questions, Pat. Like the questions were particular, and I think that they're helpful to everybody, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They were
You
very
can
good.
count on me for questions. I always, lots of questions.
I'm happy to answer them, and please, even if you're not exactly sure how to ask the question or if you're worried it's going to come out in a confusing way, please ask me anyway. I'm pretty good at getting to the heart of what people mean.
Okay.
I used to be
Thank
a
you.
classroom teacher with little kids, so you can even give me kid language. How do I? Yeah,
That works
I
for
can
me.
usually figure it out.
I'm a kid at heart. Believe me, I love kids, and I sometimes act like one. But
It's
I'm thinking I might want to wash all my fabric because it kind of has a smell. So I'm thinking maybe but then I'll have to iron it. So I may not be ready in the next couple of weeks.
You'll have to iron the little bit you need. Like the rest of it can stay wrinkly. Iron as you go.
Oh, okay.
That's a good tip.
Why? Yeah, it is a very good tip.
Yeah,
Okay.
like iron a quarter of it and see if that'll do you for now.
Okay, I like that idea. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, thank you so much.
I don't think there's any such thing as cheating in crafts. Like if you can figure out a smart way to save yourself some time, there's no such thing as cheating.
Yeah.
Don't feel guilty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I guess I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Aim to have stuff cut out. Like I said, don't make it a stressful thing though. If you're not all cut out, show up with what you got. We'll chat while you cut.
Okay.
Sounds good. Have a nice weekend, everybody.
You too.
Thank you,
Have a
Ashley.
nice- Oh,
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye, Marianne.
Bye.
Bye, honey. Bye, Pat.
Bye. Nice meeting all of you.
Yes, you too, honey.